These are pimples and this is acne. This is also acne, but these are mostly pimples. How can you tell for sure if you have classic acne or just pimples? What is the actual difference between them? I know every website out there tries to tell us that pimples are just a symptom and acne is the condition, which is completely true. But if you're watching this video, I'm assuming you're looking for a practical way to tell the difference, right? So how can you know if what you have on your face is real acne or just some pimples that might actually go away on their own? This is exactly what I want to show you in this video, so I will give you top 5 practical differences between acne versus pimples that will help you tell the difference between them and see which of them you have. It's not going to be any theoretical notions and stuff like that. I promise I'm only going to give you practical tips that will help you identify them. So let's get into it. Hello and welcome to Acne from A to Z. I'm a pharmacist and on this channel I teach you how to get rid of your acne by fighting its root cause. So if this is something you are interested in, make sure to subscribe and also follow me on TikTok and on Instagram where I post daily videos and tips about acne. And if you truly want to get rid of your acne and fight its root cause, I invite you to join my course, the Anti-Acne Formula, because it will help you identify the real causes of your acne and treat them based on a super specific action plan. I'm gonna link it in the description if you are interested, and also don't forget to download my free ebook, which is also available in the description. Now here's exactly what this video will follow. Like I promised, we are going to get straight into the 5 differences between acne and pimples, so you will be able to see what exactly you have. And once you know this, we will also look at the best treatment for each of them, so the best way to get rid of your pimples but also of your acne. And if you are ready, let's get into it. But before I get into the actual content, I want to make a little disclaimer here and tell you that in this video I will be referring to my own definition of pimples and acne. So generally I consider pimples to be a lot milder than acne, and this will be the way I will mostly use to tell the difference. Like I said, I know the actual definition of pimples and acne is pretty much the same, but for the sake of this video and for the sake of helping you understand as easily as possible, I am not going to focus on that. And just to be clear, here are just a few examples. So basically, these are pimples. These are also pimples, just like this. But here we already have acne. You can see that it is more severe. This is also acne, just like this. So you can pretty much see the difference between them, and this will be the definition I will be using in the following minutes. Now, the first way to tell the difference between pimples and acne is based on their number and location, and I actually specifically placed these two together because it is a lot easier for you to understand and to tell the difference. So generally, you have acne when you have over 5 different pimples, mostly in the same area. If you only get a pimple here and there, maybe you have one on your forehead, you get one on your jawline, you get some other 2 on your cheek, so you basically get some random pimples at random times in different areas of your face, I would actually consider those pimples. On the other hand, if you have acne, you generally have more than 5 pimples and they tend to appear in the same location. In my opinion, this is probably the best and the easiest way to tell the difference between them. Pimples are generally more rare and they do not appear together, while acne is formed by more pimples that appear together, mostly in the same area. At the same time, there's a big difference between pimples and acne in terms of severity. So generally, acne will be a lot more aggressive, while pimples will be on the milder side. And my general rule is that if you have a cystic pimple, there are some higher chances that you would also get some new ones, which would eventually lead to acne. So generally, when you have cystic pimples, they are very much a sign of acne. On the other hand, in order for you to have mostly pimples, so for you to consider those as being pimples only, not acne, they would have to be on the milder side, so mostly whiteheads and blackheads. So I've actually seen a lot more cases of acne that is aggressive compared to acne that is on the milder side. This is why in general, if you have a pimple that appears as a white head or as a black head, there are higher chances that it never turns into acne compared to a pimple that is cystic. So you always want to look at how aggressive those pimples are, how severe they are, how easily they go away, because if they are cystic, if they are very aggressive, chances that they turn into acne are a lot higher than if they are on the milder side. Another thing you want to consider is their recurrence. And in general, if you only get pimples every now and then, I would say there is nothing to worry about. On the other hand, if you have acne, you will usually get constant pimple, constant breakouts. Your face will break out on a regular basis, so it's not going to be something very superficial and only appearing at times, which is the case of regular pimples. So you want to look back and think about how often you notice those pimples, because if you only see them rarely, maybe I would say there's nothing to worry about. On the other hand, if you break out on a regular basis, if you break out constantly, chances that those pimples are actually acne are a lot higher. The fourth difference I want to focus on is how much they bother you, and this can actually be something very subjective because some people may not be bothered by their blemishes as much as others, but my general rule is that people who have acne will be bothered by it, will notice it, and they will be really frustrated that they have something like this. On the other hand, if you only get pimples every now and then, you will probably not even notice them, or if you do notice them, you're not going to be super annoyed or super frustrated because of them, right? And in my experience, pretty much all people that come to me, to my one-on-one sessions, or people that generally ask for my help on social media, those are people who have acne because they are very bothered by their acne. Their acne is usually very severe, and trust me, if they had just a couple of pimples, they would never come. So this is a subjective difference that can actually help you tell if what you have are pimples or acne. And last but not least, I would recommend looking at the treatment response, at the way your pimples react to the treatment. To the treatment, by this I mean skincare mostly, because this is what you probably use if you are breaking out. And this may not be the biggest difference. This is why it is the last one, simply because acne in general can or not respond to specific skincare. That's because this really depends on your acne's root cause. Generally, if your acne is triggered by hormones, by gut issues, by a certain medication, which are all internal triggers, in this case, your acne will not respond to skincare. On the other hand, if your acne has an external cause like skin bacteria, skin fungus, sebum, stress, these kind of forms will tend to respond to skincare a lot better. Now, generally, if you only have a few pimples, you do not have acne, those pimples will tend to respond a lot better to skincare. While if you have regular acne, it may or may not respond to skincare depending on the cause. Now, I hope you're not very confused, and for this reason, I want us to make a really short revision. So in general, you can say that you have acne if you have more than 5 pimples in the same location that appear in the same area, and they tend to be chronic, so they don't only appear every now and then. Instead, you tend to break out on a regular basis. At the same time, your pimples tend to be on the severe side, so they are usually cystic, they are usually more aggressive, a lot more often than they are milder, so whiteheads and blackheads. This can also be the case, but more often than not, they will be on the more aggressive side. At the same time, if you have acne, it's going to bother you a lot more than if you only get a few pimples every now and then, here and there, and at the same time those pimples will usually respond really well to skincare, while if you have acne, skincare will not always be effective. Now, I hope this helped you clarify and understand whether you have pimples or acne, but in my personal case, it has been an eye-opener and it helped me understand really clearly whether I had acne or pimples. Now, assuming you already know what exactly you have, how do you get rid of it? So I'm gonna give you the best routine for each of these, for both pimples and acne, and we're gonna start with pimples. Like I said, in this case, I would mostly insist on skincare, because if you only get those pimples every now and then, it's clear that they do not have a very specific cause. They're not triggered by something internal, and if they are not very severe, they should normally respond to skincare. So my My first suggestion would be to exfoliate something like once or at most twice a week, depending on your skin type. The oilier your skin type is, the better it is going to tolerate exfoliation and the more you can exfoliate. But you do not want to exaggerate with this because it can damage your skin barrier. So I would say that once or at most twice a week is enough. If you feel like your skin is too sensitive, you can use enzymatic exfoliators that are a bit more gentle, and you generally want to look for products with ingredients like Proteus. At the same time, you can also use a spot treatment. I generally like products based on azelaic acid, but only if they are used as a spot treatment. At the same time, you can go for retinoids if they are prescribed by a doctor. So just make sure to apply them as a spot treatment, not all over your face. I see this mistake made by a lot of people, and they end up damaging their skin barrier, which can make their acne actually worsen, and they can make them break out a lot more than they did before. So you generally want to apply those actives as a spot treatment only. They will help your pimples dry out faster, and they will also help with the scars. But overall, if you only have pimples, this routine should really help, and you don't usually need something very sophisticated in any last generation skincare product. I do not recommend that. I recommend going for classic skincare products. They usually work really well in this case because there's simply no need for more. But things are a bit more complicated if you have acne. And that's because in order to get rid of your acne, you need to find its root cause. And this is where things are a bit more complicated. I know most people recommend using skincare for acne as well, but I do not always agree. Yes, there are some forms of acne that respond really well to skincare because their cause is external, like I said. However, there are many other forms of acne that do not have any effect no matter what skincare you use, and this is simply because they are triggered by something internal. And obviously that skincare only has a local effect. It doesn't target the root cause of your acne, and this is why things do not get better. This is why in order to get rid of your acne, you absolutely need to find its root cause. The good news is that there aren't many potential root causes that could be triggering your acne, and I actually have a very detailed video on this topic on the main types and causes of acne that you can have. I strongly advise you to check that out because it's going to be a really eye-opener. I generally like to divide acne forms in two main categories, external and internal. External acne causes are those that are triggered by an external problem. Usually it's skin fungus, it's skin bacteria, it's sebum or an oily skin type. While the other category are forms of acne that are triggered by internal issues, hormonal imbalances like increased levels of androgens or PCOS, gut issues. Also, certain medicines can cause acne. This is also an internal trigger, and you need to focus on fixing the root cause, which is inside. And in this case, skincare is not going to work. You will usually need either a supplement, a tincture, or something that would basically fix the root problem of your acne. Now, for those of you who have no idea what could be triggering your acne, I told you at the beginning of this video about my course, the Anti-Acne Formula, which does exactly this. It helps you identify the root cause or the root causes of your acne, because there can be sometimes multiple. And once you do that, once you identify the root cause of your acne, it will also give you a specific action plan that will be very detailed, very step-by-step, and it's designed to help you fix the root cause of your acne. For those of you who are interested to join, I'm gonna link it below, but generally you really need to find the root cause of your acne. This is super important, and whether you join the course or not, I actually have many resources on my channel, on my page, where I show you exactly what you should do, the things you should be looking at in order to find out what is causing your acne, because there are some specific signs that could indicate you what kind of acne you have. So I strongly recommend you to subscribe to my channel and check my previous videos, because they are going to help you a lot. That was pretty much it for this video. I really hope it helped you understand the difference between acne and pimples. It certainly has helped me, and I really hope it was a lot more practical than what you can find online, than the articles and the videos you can find online, because I remember back then when I was struggling with my acne and I was trying to understand whether I had pimples or acne, I couldn't really find anything that would help me tell the difference. So I really hope I did this in this video. And as usual, if you have any questions or if you have any other future video suggestions that you want me to do, make sure to leave a comment below and give me your feedback. And until next time, I wish you to stay acne free.